Okay, hi there. Good day. Dan here again. And in this video, we are now diving to monitoring the uptime and the bandwidth usage of our ISP1, ISP2, and LAN1 via Cacti. Cacti is a web monitoring tool, and we're going to use Snmp for this. Basically, we're going to enable or allow Snmp on the firewall of this edge router, and then we'll go to step number one. We're going to add the ISP1 IP address to the Cacti server, and then ISP2 IP address to the Cacti server, and then we're going to create a tree, and then add ISP1 and ISP2 on the tree for the graph and publish that one, and then we're going to create a graph for bandwidth usage and uptime for ISP1 and ISP2. So without very much ado, let's dive into the configuration. I'm just going to log in first to the web dashboard of ER4. So here it is, the address of each router 4. We just pop in Chrome browser. Okay, same credential as before, configuration. So as you can see, our ISP 1 and 2 is connected. So let's do enable the Snmp, this device. So to enable Snmp, let's go to dashboard and then system, and then go to Snmp agent, and then click enable. And then in here, this is the password of the Snmp, and we're going to input this one on the Cacti server also. So let's input in here random numbers, and let's just copy this one, so because we're going to use this one on the other side on the Cacti server. So this is the Snmp community, and for the contact and location, let's have that test and then test. And then after that, let's click save. And now let's go to firewall NAT and firewall NAT groups. Let's just going to create a group of ISP1 and ISP2 address. ISP IPs. Address group, save. Put in here the IP addresses of our ISPs, ISP1 and 2. So 105.1.1.31. Then the secondary ISP, which is this one. Hit save. And then now let's create a firewall that will allow the Snmp port 161. Let's go to firewall policies and then one local actions, edit rule set. And in here, we're going to create a new rule. Let's name it as Cacti monitoring. And then accept for the action. Protocol is both TCP and UDP advanced. Establish no related. Match none. And source, this is the IP address of our Cacti server. Let's put in here. And in destination, let's select the IP address group of our ISPs, and then put in here 161, that is the port of Snmp, and hit save. And let's move this rule just below allow establish related, and hit save rule order. Okay, so we're done with this one, enabling allowing Snmp firewall. Now we're going to add the ISP1 on the Cacti server using its IP address. So let me just remote the Cacti server lab. Okay, here's the link. To add the ISP1, let's go to management and then devices, and then click in the plus sign, add, and then let's name is test router underscore ISP1. Then put in here the IP address of ISP1, which is 105.1.1.1.31. And then none for location, main polar, edge, that's okay. Cacti stats. For the device template, let's select generic Snmp device. And then for the version of Snmp, that's 2, it's good. For Snmp community, let's put in here the Snmp community inputted on the enabling the Snmp of the firewall, it's router 4. So this one, copy that, then paste in here. And then 161, that's it. Hit create. Okay, and now as you can see, we have connected to the router, and we have successfully added that one since we got those details. And then let's add now the ISP2 IP address on the Cacti server. And then let's have this name as test router underscore ISP2. And then the IP address of ISP2, that is 103.83.271.56. And device template, let's select generic Snmp device. Public, let's paste in here the Snmp community. Okay, and hit create. Okay, as you can see, we have successfully added the ISP2 on the Cacti server. So after that, let's move to step number 3. We're going to create now a tree on the Cacti server. This is for the 2 ISPs. So go to trees and then add tree. Let's put in here test router. and hit create. Okay. Okay, we're done creating the test router 3. After that, we're going to add ISP1 and ISP2 to the test router 3 on this one. So let's go to devices and then select these two, the test router 1, test router ISP1 and test router ISP2, and then click on here, choose an action, and then let's select place on test router. Hit go, hit continue, and that's it. Let's go to trees again because we're going to publish the test router 3. So select test router and then hit publish and then save. Okay, and then finish editing tree. And after that, let's go to step number 4. Create graph for ISP1 and ISP2. So let's create first graph for ISP1. Go back to the Cacti server, then go create, then select graphs. Test router ISP1. And then reload this one. So these here are the interfaces of the edge router 4. So we're just going to check ISP1 and then the LAN. This is the LAN. This one is the ISP2. We're not going to add ISP2 in the graph of ISP1. So just the interface of ISP1, which is 0, and then interface 2, that is for our LAN. And then let's select in here the uptime only, the template, and hit create. Bits per second for the unit, hit create. And then let's create a graph also for ISP2. And then just reload this one. Okay. Select device uptime and then select the S1, that is our ISP2, and then LAN. And then hit create and create. Okay. So to verify the graph, let's go to graph trees. Now, as you can see, we have our test router in here. So we have ISP1 and ISP2. So let's just check first ISP1. Let's omit CPU utilization, memory, and the other unnecessary graphs. So to do that, let's go back to devices and then ISP1 and then graph list. Let us delete this one, Snmp, 64-bit, 64-bit, 64-bit. Choose action, delete, go. Continue. So basically, we're just going to have the graph of the LAN and the the uptime of the ISP1 it is. And then let's select also for the ISP2 device. And check this one, 64-bit. Check this one. Check this one. Then delete. Go. Continue. All right. If we go back to our graphs, yeah, this one is normal for first minutes of adding the device, and later on we can see graph this one propagated. So with the ISP2, yep, okay. So we're just going to have this test router on the upper part, just below IT room, and then let's just going to have ISP1 above on ISP2. Change order. So to do that, it's just going this. We can drag this one up, just below IT. Okay, and then inside that one, so it's just make ISP1 on the upper part. Yeah, okay. And finish editing. So if we go back to 3 modes and then reload this one, this router should be the below IT room. Okay, as you can see, and then ISP1 is below ISP2. Okay, so as you can see, we have the table now propagated. Later on, we can see data on there, the graph. So this is the traffic from the local and then the ISP1 and then the uptime. So with this one. Local, ISP2, and then uptime. So let's check on this in a while for the graph to be populated. Okay, now as you can see, we have graphs now on the local. This is the LAN. This is the data used, and we have inbound, outbound, so current, and then average, and then maximum data used in LAN. So with also with one current, average, and maximum. We have the uptime of the link for ISP1. Right now, it's in 70 minutes. For ISP2, we have graphs also. Current for inbound and outbound traffic, average, and then maximum. Okay, so that's it on how to add and monitor bandwidth usage and uptime of ISPs. Okay, so to recap, we have enabled and allow SNMP on this edge router, and we have added ISP1 and ISP2 to Cacti server, and then create a tree, then added that newly added link, so by ISP1 and ISP2 to tree, and then publish the tree. Then we have created a graph for bandwidth monitoring and uptime. Thank you very much for coming this far. Bye.